Thank you for coming today. It's greatly appreciated. The reason I'm here today is to stand and tell the citizens that in the event that the Supreme Court were to decide that 640 applied to tax cuts, and it's important to note that's a position that hasn't been shared by Democrats or Republicans since 1992. All sides agreed Senate Bill 640 applied to tax cuts. All sides agreed that raising revenue, in fact, meant raising revenue, not lowering revenue. Find it kind of interesting that I could go to one of my employees and say I'm going to raise revenue in their paycheck, and then if I were to lower it, I'm relatively certain they would think I lied to them. Well, that's what we have with the citizens of the state of Oklahoma. Now, I liked what the Daily Oklahoman said. I want to be clear. I think my time here in the legislature has shown I'm a defender of the courts. I think the courts normally get it right, and I've been on record as being a defender of the court. I'm not making a comment one way or another as to what the court will in fact do, but here's what I am saying. We need to understand the dire consequences that would occur in a change in tax policy that has been held since 1992. If these were to apply to tax cuts signed into a law by both Republican and Democratic governors, passed by both Republican and Democrat legislators, would immediately be subject to constitutional challenge. And if we were going to continue and apply the law as written to all tax cuts, we are looking at a massive tax increase on the state of Oklahoma. We're here to say your legislators are thinking about it, we're looking at it, and we're being prepared to do something about it so we can go and do our best to pass as quickly as possible. Now, we can't pass all that in the time frame that we're talking about right now. Even if we were to pass them all with emergency clauses, your taxes will go up. And there's nothing at this point that we can do depending upon how this decision comes down. If you were to look at this, if you were to look at all of the issues, please be aware too, we're not just talking about income taxes. We're talking about change in personal deductions. We're talking about change in family deductions. We're talking about the death tax. We're talking about settled tax law since, in some cases, in the 1990s. We sincerely hope that this decision, while I do agree with one of the drafters, Stan Ward, that Jerry Finn is a good lawyer, but I believe his argument is at best misguided. And at worst, possibly the worst thing that could happen in my lifetime to the taxpayers and tax policy in the state of Oklahoma. And it would be a complete disregard for the intent, not of the legislature, but the intent of the citizens who in 1992, under their own referendum, chose to put that on the ballot, under their own initiative got the signatures, and through their own vote decided that they didn't want this legislative body that I'm a member of to be capable of raising their taxes without a supermajority. The idea that at the same time they wanted to make it harder for this legislature to take less of their hard-earned money without a supermajority violates the clear intent. I would encourage you to go back and listen to what was written and said about State Question 640 back in 1992. There was never an argument that applied to tax cuts, and it doesn't apply there today. Thank you.